I'm going to go ahead and call this morning's meeting to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all. I can ask for approval of this morning's agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next, I can ask for approval of the minutes as presented for March 9th, 16th, 17th, and 19th.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Next item is approve the claims for payment dated March 24th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims for payment.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thomas, emergency management update.
The only update is that we are going to be, so this week, number one is severe weather. So today at 11 o'clock, you will hear the tornado sirens in all the communities going off at 11 o'clock. Please do what you would do in the event of a tornado, besides go outside and look to the sky. The other is I'm doing webinars and looking at the new money that's coming down from the federal government. They're pushing more money down for the COVID relief package. So I'm keeping an eye on that stuff and see what we can get lined up ahead of time before that gets here. They've got some insight into it, but not a lot. So we're keeping that going. And then we got good news yesterday from the state with the city of Union. We've satisfied some of the requirements that the state had with the city of Union and their ratio project. So that is moving forward, and New Providence is moving forward. So we've gotten good feedback from both of those. So
Excellent. Okay. Next, I'll go to public health update. Oh, there's Rocky. Good morning, Rocky.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just to kind of give you guys an update on the numbers for this week, we're sitting about 1,743 total cases of COVID-19. 1,642 of those have recovered. So that leaves us with about 101 active cases. We have around 7,100 Hardin County residents that have received at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine, and about 5,600 of those were provided by a Hardin County vaccine provider. We're currently working on vaccinating our 64 and younger with the underlying health conditions per CDC, and then we'll be beginning the general public. We found out last Wednesday, Governor Reynolds announced it on April 5th. So looking forward to doing that and hopefully getting some more allocation to support that large jump in population. So.
Good. Any questions, Lance?
Nope.
Renee? I don't have anything either. Thank you, Rocky.
Thank you.
Utility permits, none today. Secondary roads department report.
S27 bridge is going along pretty good. They're still just barely ahead of schedule, but they're not behind schedule, which is nice when you give them the free winter work thing. Sometimes it can drag on. And then otherwise with the road crew, we don't really know what season it is because we moved snow and put down rock in the same week, but that's all right. That's kind of what we're used to this time of year. But yep, things are going normal there, I'd say.
Okay. Next, I can ask Michael to unmute mics for public comments.
they can unmute themselves.
Okay.
This is Donna.
Good morning, Donna.
Morning. 2 weeks ago, I made a relatively minor slip. After referring to our county auditor, I mentioned the state auditor instead of the Secretary of State. To fix this, I called the Secretary of State's office myself. I'll get into that conversation in a minute. I also have a copy of the directive from the Secretary of State showing the line of emergency and disaster proclamations as well as Iowa codes that led up to the mailing of absentee ballot request forms paid for through the CARES Act. In response to a claim from one member of our board that was made last week that he didn't get a ballot request form, I will read from the directive. Utilizing federal HAVA funds distributed to states via the CARES Act, the Iowa Secretary of State's office shall mail an official state of Iowa absentee ballot request form with instructions to Iowa's active registered voters for the November 3rd, 2020 general election, which shall be blank except for the election date and type. So basically, if you didn't get one of these request forms from the Secretary of State, one must conclude that either you were not a registered voter or that you were not an active voter due to simply not having voted in prior elections. Unless, of course, you think the Secretary of State's office did something wrong. However, going forward, the bulk of my conversation with the Secretary of State's office was regarding voter fraud. There were 3 counties whose auditor's office sent out pre-populated absentee request forms in this state. Those 3 counties were then sued by Trump and his lawyer. Hardin County was not one of those 3 counties. From this alone, one must conclude that either our board and our state senator believe that Trump and his attorneys are totally incompetent, or that Hardin County's auditor's office, our county employees, and our county did not, in fact, commit voter fraud. It cannot be both. If there was no voter fraud, you need to stand up for this county and defend our county employees, leaving our state senator to her own beliefs. Which will you do? Lance?
I was advised no comment on that, Donna.
Renee?
Same.
DJ?
Conferring with Attorney Meyer, he advised us to not comment on this, and I will follow his legal advice, Donna.
So does that then mean Attorney Meyer is investigating this?
I believe Attorney Meyer released a statement on this matter previously.
Really? Because I didn't see anything.
I would encourage you to reach out to Attorney Meyer's office and ask he or his staff directly. And Jess Sheridan just said it is on the county's website.
Why not release that publicly to the newspapers?
Again, I think I would encourage you to circle back and talk to Attorney Meyer or his staff on how they disseminate information.
That's strange because last week you said he'd be calling me and he never did. But then again, maybe he should say something on record.
Okay.
If it's on the website, it would be accessible by the news media also.
Did anybody but office staff in the courthouse know it was on the website?
I'm not sure. I know that the website is maintained by our IT department and Jess Sheridan, and it's done in accordance with the Americans with Disabilities Act and other measures to make sure it's accessible to the public. I think.
And again, why not put it out to the public? Why not put it yourselves in the newspaper so that everyone can read it?
Again, it is up to County Attorney Meyer to disseminate the information as he believes is fit.
You know, I have to say, I think it's really sad, especially considering what you went through, Renee, that can't stand up for the employees. It is honestly, truly sad that you would that all of you would play party politics rather than be for the people.
I'm confused, but
Okay.
I'm doing what the county attorney recommended.
Additional public comment.
Yes, following Donna's on that, it was put in the paper by, the Board of Elections and by Rob Sand that there was no fraud found in Hardin County. So why won't you guys step up to the plate then and say the same thing, that there was no fraud in Hardin County?
Pauline, I'm just going to make this last comment. The state auditor's office, according to Auditor Rob Sands' chief of staff, John McCormley, the auditor's office has not issued an opinion about voter issues in Hardin County. So I'm not sure if somebody is putting out information on behalf of the state auditor's office appropriately. So yeah, I'm not sure where you're getting that, but
It was in the Iowa Falls paper.
well, if I can get a hold of Justin today after the paper, and I can talk to him and see if they've received comment from State Auditor Rob Sands' office. But according to Rob Sands' office last week, they have not made they have not issued an opinion about voter issues in Hardin County.
And then I guess I have another question for you too, that several people have made to me, and I kind of wondered about that too. Why are you the head host for Zoom meetings with the city of Eldora when you're with the county and not with the city of Eldora?
I do not know. I joined the last city council meeting, and while they had technical difficulties, somehow I was by default, after Chandra or somebody at the city lost communications, it went to me, and Matt Rezib from the Iowa Falls newspaper noticed the same thing. So I'm not sure. I think that would be a great question, Pauline, for Chandra or Mayor Dunn.
Okay, because it just showed that you were the host person.
Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, and with you being there at the meeting, I'm not sure, how you're witness to that. But I appreciate you your concern about their IT issues.
I just didn't think it looked good to have you on there with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other public comment? Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and yield the floor to Tim. He wanted to speak about the next agenda item. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So the bonds were sold yesterday subject to the board's approval. So this is with regard to the refinancing of the Hardin County debt that you lent to Hanson. UMB had a good sale with interest rates ranging from 0.35 in year one, which is 2022, to 2.15% in year 2023. I'm sorry, 2032. My dyslexia kicking in. And when it's all said and done, after transactional costs, rating fees, legal, my firm's time, et cetera, the savings to the county, which then flows through to the hospital, is $725,000. And to remind you, that's just the county's portion. The hospital also sold the bonds that were previously held by local banks. As you recall, that was also part of their plan of finance to restructure their debt from 2012. I can't speak to what the hospital saved on that component of the refinancing, though their original estimate was that their total savings would be in excess of $1 million. Sale went fine. Documents are all in order. We agree with the interest rates that UMB came up with, and I'll be glad to entertain your questions, but ultimately our recommendation would be to accept their proposal and approve the issue.
Yeah, Tim, the only question I had was what the interest rates came in, and you have already answered that, and I appreciate that. So I think those are good rates.
And I should note, sorry to interrupt you, when it's all said and done, including transactional fees, everything, the average interest rate's 1.84%. I should have mentioned that earlier.
Okay. All right. Anything else for the good of the topic, Tim?
Not for me.
Okay. At this time, I would entertain adoption of the resolution directing the acceptance of a proposal to purchase $13,905,000 in taxable general obligation urban renewal funding capital loan notes series 2021, and approving the form and authorization execution of a note purchase agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve said resolution.
I will second.
Any discussion?
In this, again, the hospital's paying for all these costs through the bonds. We'll have to pay it up front, and then we get reimbursed back on this.
Correct.
Is that how I interpreted that?
That's what it looks.
Yep.
Tim is shaking his head, yes.
And while I have Michelle in the room, any questions, comments, concerns? I appreciate you being a part of the process the whole way through. That means a lot to, I know, myself. And Jolene, any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, my only concern was, at first it looked like we were going to put the bill for expenses, but now it looks like they are.
Okay.
But we will have a budget amendment that's going to be needed
Right.
to do this.
You'd be in and out and then
Yep.
reversed.
Okay. If I have no other discussion, Angela, I'd ask for a roll call vote.
Renee,
Aye.
Lance,
Aye.
BJ,
Aye. With that, the motion carries. Thank you, everybody, for your work on this project.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim, Michelle, Jolene, everybody that's been involved. The next item I have is other business. Lance,
None.
Renee,
None.
I have nothing. I can ask for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we're adjourned. Thank you.